Just.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Woo! Whoa! God dang, that was audible. Okay, Navarrete wins there.
Yeah.
That shit sound like it. It's different. Huh. Yeah. Trap. All we know is trap. Trap. All we know is trap. Trap. Get that money.
We have Airsoft Sparticus here.
Yay!
As always, I have the co-host for the second season, Sancho the GOAT.
You already know.
We switched the orientation. He's going to be making us the drinks. So, yeah, sit back and let's chop it up. So, Sparticus, nice having you back on the show, man.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be back.
Yes.
Nice meeting you.
Likewise.
Heard a lot.
Yes. We will learn to have Cypher back, but Cypher is busy. But no, we'll get Cypher back. I'm determined to get him back on the show. So, now, what you been up to for since the last time you was on this show?
So I'm still milsimming. I'm trying to get into milsimming more heavy this year in 2026. The last milsim I did was American milsim, Eastern Front in Zulu in November. I think was the 9th, 10th, and 11th, or no, 8th, 9th, and 10th of November. I did that. I was the squad leader of a unit we named the Gladiator Detachment Force, or Detachment Unit, so that was fun. I created a brand. That's why I created a brand called Cultured Gladiator, where now I'm approaching year 42 around the Earth, or around the sun. Year 24, I think, 24 in Airsoft. So it's hard. It's keeping up with 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds. It's really about the recuperating and like I call it the maintenance and injury prevention, where being a former college athlete 20 years ago, it's insane how time flies. So being the former college athlete who was trying to be a pro ball player, one of the things that I got taught a lot in that approach of, essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to gain a contract with your name on it.
Yeah.
And in baseball now, 20 years later, guys are getting paid $500 million because they're putting asses in seats, which, it makes you a revenue creator for venues, etc. For which essentially would be a brand. Yankees, Red Sox, whatever. Those are all brands. And one of the things we got taught was injury and maintenance, injury prevention, maintenance. So one of the things that about 2 years ago, right at the end of COVID, I said to myself, I'm sponsored by Real Deal. Shout out to Real Deal Airsoft.
Shout out.
So I have the equipment. I have the rifle. I've taken those rifles internationally and outperform everybody. It's not even a question. But what about the athlete? What about the person who I've done milsims where it starts on a Monday and finishes on a Saturday? How do you even survive going out? The first time I ever did it, 33 hours back to base. And you're like, dude, that's a day and a half. There's no bitching and moaning. There's no, ow, I hurt, ow, this. Prepare, a bunch of change of socks. I've literally waited in the bush, turned around, laying down, peed, turned back around, and I'm like, oh, let's keep hitting it. So all that stuff is covered. But what I never saw was covered is, all right, what about getting that person back in the fight? As much as of a cliche that is, how to get back in the fight. You got a bum shoulder, your feet hurt. In the second time I went in 2024 to Sweden, guys were like, dude, I've got blisters on my feet. What am I supposed to do? There's some tricks to the trade that I've learned from pro baseball players. It's not that it's the most sanitary or not sanitary. It's just it's a little queasy if you're not built a certain way. A trick in sports is to avoid calluses, and a trick in the farming world, because I also grew up on a farm in the islands in the Dominican Republic, is you pee on your hands, and you never get a callus ever. But it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you that if you hike miles a day and you pee on your feet, you're never going to get a callus.
Like in the tub? Like,
like,
where you gonna find a tub out of the wilderness? Like, well, all right. So I'm also like, guys, my lifelong friends know me. I'm a bit of a nerd. So here's chemistry. So the chemical components in your urine actually help break down the muscular tissue breakdown of your body. So they slow it down, and then they mineralize and put like a force field around it. Now, if you don't want to do that, because I didn't do that the second time around. The second time around, I created something called Cultured Gladiator. And I used the research and development, for me, really kicked off when I went to Brigitte in 2024. And I just handed everybody in the team, shout out to Greystone from Sweden. I handed everybody out, and also Snowman. He's awesome, and Rhythm and all those guys. I handed this out to everybody. I said, use it. Tell me what you think. They were like, dude, what's in this? I feel great. So I would go, and that was when I was turning 40. I turned 40. So my feet were fucking swollen. I was like, damn. The first time I went to Sweden was 33 hours, and then we came back. The second time was like 2 days, and then we came back in. And I was like, damn, man, I'm getting old. My feet are swollen. But they're like, there's a river. We're going to go take a bath, wash up in the river. If you're okay with cold water, I was like, man, bring it. Old man me? Yeah, bring me some ice. I love cold plunges, but I use this, which I call the Culture Gladiator brand. And one of the things that we focused on was the athlete. How do we get the athlete to bounce back in? Well, just like you put in parts into a rifle, just like I've heard people suggest washing your BBs so there's no dust in the BBs as long as you use them immediately, so you don't have to worry about the degrading of the BBs. So I'm like, think about that for a second. If in real life the operators look at every detail, like the courses I've taken, they look at every detail, placement of everything on your battle belt, placement of everything on your rig, where centimeters, inches, miles, ounces is pounds, where that matters. I'm like, all right, but what about getting the person back in the fight? What about healing them? Your feet are swollen, your mood sucks, you're achy, you're blistered, you're in the jungle, so your feet, your armpit, your neck is itchy, because all of a sudden you're like, yo, dude, water hasn't touched my body in like 24 hours. Now I'm funky. Yeah. I'm funky and I'm like, all right.
I got this thing where if I'm out too long, I feel like bugs are on me all the time.
But that's you being self-aware. Like there's some men and women in this world that they can just do whatever they want, and you're like, yeah, bro, you don't smell that? Like you don't? Because I was like, I can smell your pheromones from here, my man. I can smell your pheromones from here, young lady. But you're in tune.
Yeah.
That's where this comes in play, where the Culture Gladiator comes in play, where I created something where it's near and dear to me. Like I said, I did a lot of research and development, and so right now we've got a few products, and every one of them has a name. That's the whole concept of it. We'll start with the Untouched Gold. It's basically 5 times rendered, 6 times filtered beef tallow lotion. So I know the whole beef tallow trend, look it up. I started that shit before anybody else jumped on it. I was saying beef tallow. I make my own beef tallow to cook with. So when I do milsims, I bring that beef tallow, and everybody's like, yo, Sparticus, man, everybody loves it because we go with the guys out. Shout out to the guys that are watching. We do milsims, and I bring like an Argentine style barbecue where I'm like, yo guys, make sure you bring meats. And there was a new guy, shout out to East, and he was like, yo, I've never seen this before. It was like constant, just a slab of meat of something on the barbecue. I'm like, yo, bro, calories. Calories. I learned from all these special forces guys, especially when I was in Virginia in 2010. that commander was like, you know how we knew the guys that weren't going to wash off or wash up in buds for SEAL team training were the guys that exhausted as they were shoving food down their throat. They were eating because it's calories, it's science. So this is where this is too, where it's science, where you have clean, grass-fed, natural beef tallow, which is beef fat from cows that are treated humanely. They're growing up, they're healthy. I take the fat, I get it from my local butcher in Astoria. I trim the fat down to absolute beauty, and then I render it down, which is basically cooking it down slowly. I do that 5 times. And every one of those times is an 8-hour process. So 40 hours alone is just this, cooking down, chilling in the refrigerator, cleaning it, cooking down. That process goes 5 times. When I do that, I then let it cool down, and then I whip it and turn it into what I call untouched gold, which is a lotion that will remineralize your skin.
Okay.
And then I went even higher, and I started adding things to it where, you know, from ancient times, people have used honey to heal wounds.
Yes.
You know, so I use something called Manuka honey. I'm sure some people have heard of it. And the Manuka honey I use, there's different grades. When you grade the Manuka honey, you're like, it's called the MGO. So the highest grade, which is 261 plus MGO, which is the bottle of honey alone for this is like $100 just for the honey. That then, what I do is I add lavender. Now all the ingredients, and you know, we're in an era of information where if you don't know your information, it's on you. And then when you do know your information, it's on you. You know, it's you know, the sky's the limits. I have this machine where it was gifted to me because it was supposed to be something where you take butter and take cannabis, and the premise is taking an herb, taking a fat, dry the herb, decarbonate the herb, which is basically taking an herb, throw it in there, dry the herb at a certain temperature using a certain scientific method, and letting all the mass dry up, and then all of a sudden now you have nothing but the herb, where if you grab it, technically if you grab the cannabis and you eat it, you can get high off of it, because there's nothing in it anymore except the THC and the CBD components. Well, I did my research, and it turns out that machine does that to any herb. So I can literally really make high potency of any herbs. So I grabbed lavender, and I said, okay, well, lavender calms you. It's also very good exfoliant for the skin. And I added the Manuka honey. So did that to the lavender, dried up the lavender. Then we added the beef tallow. Now, mind you, the beef tallow has already been rendered for 6 days. And the honey now took 1 day to prepare the honey. And not a lot of companies out there do things like this, where, you know, beef tallow is a big trend. If you go to the store and your beef tallow is running and you see a liquid, that's bullshit. Because they've cut corners. They've added what we call an additive to break down the fat to then give you the gold. You can't cut corners. There's nothing you could do. There's people that are like, hey, Sparticus, when is your beef tallow ready? Dude, 1 jar of beef tallow ain't ready for 1 week. You know, and that's if I get to bottling it. This is 6 days alone for me putting it in the whole process, and then I'm like, and then sometimes I'm a little picky. I'm like, one more cycle. I don't like the way that looks. I want it better. It cuts down the beef smell. And then, and you do some French fries. Have you ever had beef tallow French fries?
No, never.
Dude, McDonald's, when Ray Kroc got into the franchise, they used to use beef tallow.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where I'm like, that's where they got their name, where people are like, whoa, these are different. Like, there's a crisp to your fries. You're like, oh man, this is different. That's the beef tallow that I use for here. So this is called Battle Salve, and it uses calendula flour, comfrey flour, plantain flour, and then one of the most ancient things that have been used across the globe for pandemics and like for like plagues, which is frankincense oil.
Yeah.
And every one of my ingredients that I get, I've done the research and everything where I get them from independent sources that have done their, this is organic, non-GMO, this is an independent source, we're certified. So they're all certified to the T. And then what I did was I dried up all the herbs in the process. So there's 3 different herbs now that I'm drying up. I'm doing the comfrey, 5 hours, 6 hours. The plantain flower, plantain leaf, 5 hours, 6 hours. The calendula flower is such a homeopathic remedy flower that it attacks certain ailments where I'm not going to say it out loud. If you look it up, there are pharmaceutical companies that don't want you knowing what calendula flower can do.
I'm going to talk after this.
Yeah. I dry up all of them, and then I put it back in that machine, and I put in the liquid beef tallow. So I warm up the beef tallow and I throw it in there, and then so this is the longest processed product that I have that probably takes like a week and a half. Aches, pains, inflammation. You have eczema, your skin's cracking, your lips are going crazy because you work outside, swelling. This will take it away. Unofficially, I met a client where I was working, and he unfortunately is going through stage 4 lung cancer. And he was, because of his medication, because of chemo, he was going through necrosis of the feet.
Yeah.
Which the tissue's dying.
Yeah.
He stopped his medication a week in.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, no way, please stop. He was like, man, I've been keeping you in my prayers. I have no idea what this is. This is it. And I was like, call me, man. You'll get a free supply for life. I go, you kidding me? Stage 4 lung cancer, and it's keeping your necrosis away?
Yeah.
It's literally keeping the dying of the tissue away? Come on, man. What are they not telling us, man? Because if this is an animal fat.
Yeah.
So pretty much, I'm just gonna put this disclaimer: Spartacus is happy with life.
Yeah.
You know, because what happened with Bowen? Mysterious. But
listen, this sounds like, so. First of all, thank you for bringing.
Yeah, no problem.
samples.
Yeah,
I
no
love
problem.
it. I love it. So let me get it right. This is good for aches and pains, scars, cuts, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
This one, Nectar of the Gods is good for eczema.
Yeah.
Right. What else? Eczema.
Anything that you would use for skin conditions. This right here, Battle Salve. If you feel like I've got full blown eczema that just won't heal and it's achy and whatever, put this on there.
Okay.
This will heal. If you have a splinter, this will heal the skin over the splinter before the splinter gets a chance to come out.
Oh, okay.
I've done that. There's another one that I'm working on called Into the Fray, which is a black pulling salve. Where I've used it on my son, I've used it on my wife, where they have a splinter, put it on them, it's black, used with charcoal, tea tree, a whole bunch of different things. That's the next one that's coming out, Into the Fray. And it's called that for a reason, because it's like, hey, do you have a deep embedded issue with your skin? Use this. Once you're done with that and you see your skin's improving, hit it with this. Once you're done with that and you see your skin's healthy, rejuvenated with this. Once it's like Airsoft, where I see a father and son combo, a husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or just brother and sister. Why can't you do this for as long as possible? That's the idea to expand this sport. Is so why aren't you going after the people you've already got? So you can keep them in the sport. Why are you trying to go after new people? Because then those people can then turn around and get new people too. And now you could turn around and say, look, I've kept this person in the sport for 20 years. Join us, instead of constantly rotating the door. That's where the Cultured brand comes in, the Cultured Gladiator, where it's like, I have a gear spray that eliminates where you have gear you can't throw in the wash. Your chest protector, your plate, your knee pads. All right, spray this. People are like, man, this is a little strong. I'm like, yeah, because it's got shit that kills the bacteria and then aerates everything out without messing with you cellular level.
Okay. So it's not like chemicals and stuff like that.
Where, we all hear stories where everybody's like, man, if you use this, there's a class action lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. So it's like,
have you used this to
and my wife is like, I don't know what to believe anymore. And I go, just put the social media down. Just put it down. And just do your research and, let this tell you, hey, that kind of feels like it's going in the right direction. So that's where I've been the last 2 years, 2.5, where I'm like, opened up my website, culturedgladiator.com.
Please
and
check that out.
And it's one of those things where I'm growing it, where I'm like, all right, I use all my own products when I go play. And, guys are like, dang, This guy doesn't get tired. I get tired. I just address it before
So your whole thing,
anybody else notices it.
So your whole thing is, okay, one thing about getting into airsoft, but staying in the game long enough to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So actually, those are actually really good products. Thank you again for bringing samples. I know my son has eczema. I definitely want to try
Use
it.
that, yeah.
And I see you got these, to help you, keep you in the fight. But I see you also brought something to help you inside as well. So,
well, real quick, let me just speak some. Penelope Howdy said, I love that mask, sir. I'm guessing talking about this mask right here. Me too. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I had it.
This is. They don't need this. Sorry, my daughter's the whole day. This is a SRU mask, pretty much full face protection with fans on the side. I got this a little bit after we did our first mill sim, and I realized I had a fogging issue. When you're out there, your glasses get fogged, and I don't like getting shot in the face.
Yeah,
everybody, you know Tristan.
Oh yeah.
We all know Tristan, and shout out to him. And he's one of the main reasons why I rock this. He's one of the main reasons why I got my airsoft shotgun, but that's a different story. But anyway, this good for outdoor play, good for indoor play. The lens is good when you're in like dark environments. I play this on Ricochet with no issue. When I'm outside, the fans help keep you cool, and you can talk regular. Sometimes people have masks on, it sounds muffled. We're ready to get into the gameplay. Flap the arm, cool air goes across, and you're ready to go. And they have 3 versions now. This is version 2. This one's just the face mask, and you got to use a fast helmet. Then they got one that's fully integrated, which is the Model 1 that's fully integrated with that. Then the Model 3 is the same as this, but instead of it being like this, it's just a clear face mask, and then with stronger fans going across. I had this for the last 5 years, and it's been through every game I played with no issues. I even used it with the night vision goggles I had at one point.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a good piece of kit that I
I
have
just
for a long
realized
time.
my name is wrong online. It says Sancha the Goat.
So it's that. I know you have a unique helmet that you use too.
So I use a lot of people when they see me, they're like, what's that famous rapper MF Doom? I'm like, it's not. I know. I appreciate it. I have respect for the MF Doom fan base, but it is a Maximus mask from the movie Gladiator. So it's an 18 gauge steel metal mask that I put it on, and I put it on my helmet. I took off the top part and I put it on my helmet. And I tell you what, man, when I play indoors, I'm not afraid to breach. Like, I will breach, get hit, run back to respawn, come back, and just keep going. And you'll hear the steel getting hit. And I'm like, all right, I have a mesh mask. I cover it up usually with a balaclava. And then, my mask, I love it. I'll never change it.
I am scared to use a mesh mask now. I tried it one time with the mesh mask goggle combo, and I got hit right in between where it wasn't covering. And from there, I was like, yeah, that's a face mask.
See, that's one thing that every single time that I've played indoor, there's always one time I get hit, and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And then the other side of my brain goes, stop being a little bitch. Turn around, go to respawn, compose yourself, and just go get it. Because at the end of the day, there is a masochistic side of us that wanted to play this to feel that kind of pain.
Yeah.
Where now, 20 plus years, midway to 30, I'm like, I'm alive. Like, I feel that pain. I'm like, all right. So this is what the Greeks call ouzo, which is basically like Greek moonshine. The other one is called tipuro, but this is I live in Astoria, which is like Greek Central in New York, and it's one of our favorite. Is from Aposta Lagama or Lagma, and it's a Greek spirit, 59% alcohol.
Are you supposed to drink this straight, or
no? You sip this.
Yeah.
You drink this straight. You're gonna start doing the Greek dancing that you see them do.
Oh, this is just your reminder.
Yeah, because I was scared already.
Yeah,
I mean, if you were gonna do
No,
it,
I ain't. No, you sip it. No, but
do you mix it with anything? Like
no,
ginger
just
ale?
straight ice.
Just straight ice.
Just straight ice.
All right, just in case I'm keep this.
Just straight ice. This is the kind of stuff where you know how you see the Greeks doing those slow dances.
Yeah.
That is called Zimbekiko, and that actually comes from the ancient Greek times where they would go to war and they would get hammered on the boats on the way there because they never knew when's the next time they would enjoy life. So the idea was, you know, you go ahead and dance and you embrace your ancestors, you embrace your heritage, because you never know. You know, you had kings like Agamemnon, who was the king of some of the Greek provinces, and he was the famous one because he had Achilles. You burned the boats, you know, because it's like, hey, we're burning the boats, so we either gonna win this war.
It has a nice,
die.
it has a very nice, unique smell.
Yeah.
So in Greek they would say stiniyamas.
Stadiumas?
Yeah.
Stadiumas.
All right.
Yamas. And you see why you sip it.
Yeah. It tastes good though.
Yeah, this is it'll warm you up.
Okay. Penelope asked, why did I stop paintball? Fumbles and I, and my brother, Prototype, he was my Prototype.
Yes.
We used to play paintball. In the beginning, we got into paintball.
There was like another squad in the bushes right there. So we just let off into the bushes. We eliminated maybe like 3 or 4 dudes. Yes.
Heavy. And we always went with like the paintball markers that were realistic looking.
MagFat.
Right? No, first we had the realistic
Yeah,
looking
we had
because I had a Project Salvo or something.
Yeah, and then I had the Tipman.
And then we decided to go MagFed because we wanted that realism. I hated having that hopper on top. Sometimes you're running and it gets loose and paintballs are flying everywhere.
Mad noisy and stuff.
Noisy, you're running, all you hear is right? I couldn't turn it to the side because then it wasn't feeding it. You know, you're trying to be strategic and it was just too much. And then when we saw it in Airsoft that we could get a replica of anything that we liked. Anything you liked, and it was like a 1-to-1.
Yep.
We said, screw that, we good.
Plus,
Oh, let's go to. I mean, we were gonna do both, and then somewhere down the line, paintball just took a back seat forever, and we just kept on doing airsoft. Like,
I know what happened, the reason why. So it was shortly after we got into Airsoft. Me and Sancho got into it, and we brought everybody else into it. We tested it out first, and then we found all these stops. You could get these Airsoft replicas. When we sat down and we start doing the cost to play ratio, it didn't make no sense. So like our Airsoft markers were all of us easy close to $1,000 each. I paid almost close to $1,000 by buying it and then modifying it.
I mean, the airsoft or the paintball?
The paintball, sorry. The paintball marker, the T15.
The T15s, the Tiberius T15, they were like $600, $700 base, right?
And then we also
we had to put stuff on it.
Yeah. So we paid. We brought like we also, it was 3 of us. We all brought it. So it's like $1,500 just for the base model, and then we pumped another
base.
That's just for base.
Just for base.
Yeah.
And that's because we wanted. We wanted MagFed, and we wanted it to be first strike ready.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. And so first strike is supposed to be okay. You could turn it into a sniper rifle, right? It's supposed to be accurate, right?
And the T15.
And then you find out how much it costs to shoot those first strikes. Those first strikes were expensive, right? And then if you go to a place, there's a place in Long Island, I forgot we went. A box of paintballs was like $90.
Yeah,
High velocity.
High velocity.
I used to ref airsoft events. I was the head ref there at some point.
$90 for a box of paintball.
Well, that's where most of the paintball companies that own a paintball field, that's where a lot of the revenue comes into.
From the paint.
From the paint.
Because then you can't even hold the paint, because after you use it for that day, you only got a couple, maybe 2 weeks before the paint becomes no good.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, our base markers, paintball markers, are $500. I pumped another 4, maybe 5 into it. He pumped easily another 4 or 5 into it. You know, and that would include our sidearms.
Yeah.
What?
Man, that would include our sidearms.
Yeah.
And we had a battle with sidearms at one point. I brought the bullshit Tipman TPIX. Thought it would be cool. Biggest piece of junk I ever brought.
How about the Tiberius? What was it? The
T6?
T9?
T9, yeah.
I can't
but it
remember.
was one thing unique about his is that had every mag had its own CO2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was bulky. It was
Yeah.
bulky, and it wasn't really realistic. And finding holsters for it, you have to really just get the holster that's made for it, right?
Yeah.
But then when we got into airsoft,
Different story.
there's
Yes.
so many options,
Yeah,
right?
man.
No matter how I want it, if I wanted to get something that has a pistol holster right here on the chest,
That's it.
Add one on the hip, it was like you could do whatever you want,
Yeah.
and then just going off of like gear, like he got something like this that look cool.
Yeah.
I can get whatever theme I want and make it work.
And you can get real steel gear.
Yes.
Yes.
And then for me, I'm licensed, out here, whatever. I can get something that's similar to what I already have, and I only have to buy one holster, right?
Yep.
I can say, okay, I can just use the same holster
Yep.
when I'm using my real stuff. So
Yeah.
it was like a no-brainer for us. And then a bottle of BBs is like what?
$20. Yeah.
Even now, the most expensive, not most expensive, even now, the higher performing BBs where it's heavyweight, 38, 0.38 grams, will probably cost you $40
$40
for like
$40,
3,000.
thousands.
You mentioned something about First Strike. We didn't mention the price for First Strikes. For a box of what, 50? 50? Or no, a box of 50 was $100.
Yeah, come on. And then I could get
That's a lot.
Yes.
And then you got you have tracers, right?
Yes.
Like I love tracers, right? Even though it's not practical, right? It's giving away your position or whatever. But it also is like for paintball, if you hit somebody, you get the splatter. You can have proof. With the tracers, if you hit somebody, I can see that I'm hitting you. Like
Yeah,
that's kind of like a like if they don't honor the honor system,
You
it's like,
see them.
I see that I'm hitting you, and if you're recording it, you see me recording. I know I hit you. The tracers, it just look cool. It looks cool. One of my tracer units has a flash, like it's a muzzle flash, right? And then it's sending BBs at you, but it has a muzzle flash, which to me is just fire, right?
Yeah.
You don't have that.
There's tracer
Okay.
units out there that are insane. Like shout out to Panda Brothers who got me a tracer unit where there's a reservoir in the actual compartment of the inside of the tracer that takes this oil.
Yeah.
And when you shoot it, you can choose. I can open up my app to it for the eShooter app. I can choose what color the tracer unit shows off. I can choose how intense the color is. I can choose what pattern. So a lot of times to save money, we'll throw in, because we do Milsim, so we have low caps or mid caps. Say it takes, I do a lot of low cap because I'm pretty disciplined in shooting. Yeah. So I'll do 40 rounds, and I'll put maybe every 3 or every 5 rounds a tracer round in it.
Okay.
And then I'll program it on my phone. Hey, every 3 or 5 rounds, there's a tracer. And you'll see pop, 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 tracer, pop, 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 tracer. Then the last 5 are just tracers. So when I go pop, 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 tracer, tracer, okay, I'm about to go Winchester. I'm about to go dry. Yeah. Let's get ready. But with this one, the oil, when you shoot it, it gives off muzzle steam. Oh. Yeah. Man, first time I saw him shooting that in American Milsim, I'm like, yo, you got another one of those? He goes, yo, I've got a few in the truck.
Who made it?
I don't know the company, but if you want to get them, you can get them from an airsoft company based out of Luzerne, Pennsylvania. It's called Band of Brothers Airsoft.
Band of Brothers.
Shout out to Nelson. Man, he handed me that tracer unit, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" I was like, and it's also a chrono.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's insane. Yeah. So I went to an event indoor, and they're like, "Oh, this is chronoing this." I go, "No, it's not." I go, "I'm using," and it tells you, "Hey, what rounds are you using? What weight?" So I'm like, "I'm using 2 8s," and this. I go, "Your chronograph is off. Correct it, please." And he did. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Man, you would have made me put my rifle in my case, bring out the other one," which is not bad because they're all real deal rifles. I'm gonna outshine everybody here, period. But this is the one I want to use.
When you say real deal, that's a company.
Real deal airsoft.
So it's a person named Real Deal, and he makes airsoft.
He's a mad scientist.
So now he sound like the Terran Tactical of airsoft.
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah.
So
let me tell you, up until I met him, when I participated in something called the Airsoft Pro League, there wasn't
You was
a
involved.
rifle.
Hold on. Sorry, you was involved. We want to touch bases real quick with that, but yeah, continue.
Who? Jaden Smith. Who? Me?
What?
That can't be.
What happened?
Somebody said you remind me of Jaden Smith, and I'm like,
Who? Not me.
That's definitely not me. So with Real Deal, again, performance,
Yes.
maintenance. I was an athlete. I started playing airsoft in college because my coach was like, you need to find something else to do so you don't burn out and just only do baseball. You know, I wanted to be a pro. I wanted to do this. I wanted to expand my horizon. And I was like, how about this, coach? I found this. You know, I was very big on eventually at some point I might just join the military, etc. And he was like, yeah, that'll do. I found, civilians, military tactics, airsoft. I was like, holy shit. It was 2003, in the infancy of Google and Google searches. So I'm like, what's this? So
Nobody really knew
took
about
my butt
airsoft.
to Port Jefferson. Fast forward to like 10 years, 15 years later, I can't find airsoft producer of components that I can keep up with that won't break down. And I'm like, what the hell? These internals, the bushings, the motor, the seals, the O-rings, all that stuff is breaking down. The inner barrel. And then all of a sudden somebody puts up that they're doing this thing, roll call, Airsoft Pro League in Long Island. And I'm like, listen, you can't have an Airsoft Pro League without one of the best players in the country, and the country don't even know it. Oh, yeah, chip on my shoulder. And he was like, who are you? I go, just let me come. I went there, and that was when I had the whole Airsoft Sparticus thing. Yeah, that's everything right there. I met him in that event. And I met Jake, who runs Real Deal Airsoft.
Yeah, Jake is real cool.
Dude.
When I first started, he was...
I've now landed with him a sponsorship where he just drops everything into the rifle. And what I mean by he drops everything into the rifle, this rifle keeps up with me and then some. Where it's like, you're playing against me. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's a chip on my shoulder. Yes, I'm about to be 42. I run circles on 16-year-olds. Like it's yesterday's business where I'm like, oh, are you okay, son? Keep up. Keep up. Reloading. Like his components. First off, you got places like Extreme Airsoft out in Rhode Island. They carry his gear. They carry his components. So if you want to build something straight out from the box and just upgrade it, you guys were talking about how it costs you almost $1,000.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know the kind of rifle you would get if you dropped that with Real Deal? My AK from LCT is set for outdoors, but I can use it indoors because of its ability where I can use it indoors almost without doing anything to it. And just changing the rate of fire. And go on my Leviathan app, on my Jeftron app, change the rate of fire. If I want, I can semi-lock it so I know my AK or my M4 will never slip from semi-lock to full auto. It'll still just be single semi. And it's one of those things where it's like, I swear by it, you ever get your rifle tuned in, changed up, get the internals done, do it through Real Deal, because it's just game changing. You want to have fun in airsoft? Get one of his rifles.
Or get your
get one of your rifles done by him. I promise you, I've taken it to Sweden, and the consistency, the airflow, the air seal, the ability that every single round is within 1 foot to 2 feet. Where it's like 360, 361, 360, 359, 360, 361. And I'm like, my God. I mean, that's the first thing when I chronoed in Sweden in 2024. The first thing they were like, you're shooting too hot. And I'm like, what? I'm like, hold on. I looked at my friend. I'm like, what rounds did you give me? 2 5s. I go, I'm not using 2 5s.
Yeah.
I register using 3 8s. In Sweden, I'm shooting with 0.38s, 157 joules, so 1.57 joules. I'm shooting 380 feet per second, 25 rounds a second, sending out 0.38s. And the ref who's chronoing me, he goes, wow, American. And I'm like, what?
That's a real question.
He goes, this is pretty consistent, and the accuracy.
He said, "Wow, American."
Yeah, they're different out there, especially if you're red, white, and blue. They're like, because the gun culture here is unmatched anywhere else.
Yeah.
We love our guns. It's unmatched.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
And so the real deal components, I'm like, damn, dude. Even his like gas blowback grease that he uses, you can use that for your regular AGs and all that. People have. Almost every single event, everyone's like, who's that? Polar Star? Is that a pneumatic system? No, it's a real deal system. Nothing against Polar Star or pneumatic systems. It's just this keeps up so well that you can confuse it for Polar Star or an engine or anything like that. And you're like, well, damn. So when I tell people, like, when you're saying that your paintball markers are almost like a G, I'm like, man, if you gave Real Steel a G, you'd come back with the rifle or platform, and you'd be like, damn, dude. I ain't never putting this shit down.
So do you order the rifles from him, or do you give him and then he upgrades?
He has pre-builts too.
Okay.
Yeah, he has pre-builts too, and his pre-builts. And the thing is that he engraves and everything. Like he engraved my AK with my logo, with the Greek key, which is that the square stuff that you see. I was like, man. And then he was like, and this was while I was getting ready for Sweden. So the rifle arrives like 2-3 weeks before I go to Sweden. And I'm like, what's this? And he called me. He was like, "Yo, I just got a notification. You just got my package." I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Surprise, mother!" I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Yo, this is legit." I was like, "Are you serious? You engraved it and everything?" He was like, "Yo, turn it around." It was like, "Prepare for battle," which is my thing when I do Airsoft Sparticus. And I'm like, "Yo, bro." So on top of that, the customer service, it's like,
amazing.
And now he's doing pyro. So now he's doing smoke grenades and frags.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he just finished taking and using a whole bunch in Puerto Rico. And he was like, yo,
Airsoft in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, man, Puerto Rico Airsoft. Shout out to them for throwing that out. And he was like, yo, you want to go to Puerto Rico? Because he knows I love international play. I'm trying to go to South Africa, Dubai. I'm like, yo, I want to do this. It scares people because, like, well, what about the airport? And I'm like, what about?
Well, that was the first thing I asked you, right? So, my first time meeting Sparticus, right? I kept hearing about him. Fumbles kept speaking about him. And then when I walked in and we were talking, he was giving me so much information about just traveling with your Airsoft. Because that's one thing that I was always wondering about. Because there's times where we only went to like Virginia to play because we were able to drive there. And if we could go to different places and go, because we see so many amazing Airsoft fields.
Like, I want to go to Ballahack. Like, try that one out.
There's so many outside of our area, right? Out of our reach here. There's so many amazing airsoft fields that you see online. If you go on YouTube and you look up some of these places that people go and play, it's like, it's amazing. Like, they have indoor places with like actual buildings that you're going through, and that's just part of the field. So you're like, when you come out here, it's like makeshift buildings, right?
Prefabricated.
It's like plywood that look like you're in a building, but you're really just outdoor.
That's one reason when we went to HVA, which Sparticus has told me some new information about HVA, which I'm going to share. If you don't mind me sharing. So me and Sancho went to HVA. We all had negative experience there, right? The cool thing about them though was their field. They had a good space. It was like a warehouse.
It's a nice field.
Yeah, it's a nice field. We wasn't allowed to use the tack house though, which was, a bummer. And it was like the quality of like not even the people, but it's just like the people wasn't calling their hits. The environment. And then I did a video probably 5, 6 years ago when I first went to HVA, and I voiced my negative opinion of the place, and I got hammered online. Like, there's like 60, 70 comments of this upset because I was talking about my negative experience there, but it was true. And I went back to try to give it another take, and it was still negative. But their field is fire. They have a nice field. It's a good location. It's just,
Yeah, I think I went there once because you guys went without me one time.
Yes, and that's the time that.
And I went back. I went once, and I felt like the one issue I had was the lack of people calling their hits. And somebody, and then sometimes sometimes I can't really blame the person because some people, their getup, right, their theme, they're so covered up and padded.
You can't feel nothing.
That I don't know if they even feel it. Right, this guy was walking around like the Undertaker.
I have solutions for that. Factor that I have learned from the Special Forces community that I took classes from and courses from is the suck factor. Where they have literally said, expect your comms to fail.
Wow.
Okay? Guess what has happened in every single fucking event? Someone's comms fails. And guess what those people feel? Oh my God, my comms are failing. Okay, bro, figure it out. I carry 2 radios. Okay. Now I'll grab somebody who's a radio guy. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Milsims are that component in a wider spectrum. Where it's like, for example, sleeping. I still haven't figured out, 23, 24 years, what I want in my sleeping approach to airsoft. Because I'm like, do I want to put a rooftop tent on my truck? Or do I like my Native American style teepee tent that I have my wood burning stove in, where I've literally camped in an airsoft event, shout out to Grimnir Tactical, where overnight it was minus 11.
Minus
11.
And inside my tent, it was 60 degrees. I was in my underwear, burning wood inside my tent, and just passed out with snow. And in the morning when I woke up, it was just frost on the inside of my tent. Because I was like, all right, everybody's like, yo, how? And I'm like, my boots are dry, my socks are dry, I'm dry. It was minus outside. I'm good. And the funny thing is, when I went to that event, no one had what I had. No one. Not a single person. I dare you to contest that. Not a single person at that event had a wood burning stove in a tent. Now if you go to airsoft events that experience cold weather,
they have
fucking everywhere. And I'm like, you're welcome.
put that on my list.
Yeah.
But that's the thing where it's like, I've told everybody, I'm like, yo, go hiking, go camping.
Yeah.
That's all airsoft is.
I just say yesterday.
Yeah, you're incorporating
like,
that. You're
camping.
incorporating that.
Yeah.
You know, when like my favorite things is when I go with the boys. You know, shout out to everybody that, you know, the fellas, they know who they are. You know, Eric, Nelson, Jake, Dillinger, everybody. Bro, everybody brings, whether it's some beer, water, coolers, meat, charcoal, and we make camp. And it's all surrounded, all different tents. And in the middle, they know. I bring a fire pit. I bring the Argentine style fire charcoal, where it's like, all right, and it's constantly something cooking. I bring the party style tents, like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have everything. Like that's the thing. Where it took years. Where I'm like, I don't like that. I like this. You know, there's one of the guys. Shout out to damn it, I forget the name.
He'll come to you later.
He poops in his tent, bro. He has a toilet in his tent. And I was like, yo, and I was like,
he just,
nope.
Cause you said
Go ahead.
No, sorry, cause you just said poop in your tent. I'm like, well, you just before saying you have to pee on your hands and stuff like that. So,
yeah, but it's like he has like this little station, and I'm like, yeah, but then you gotta wrap that shit up. Literally, you gotta wrap the shit up. And my wife was like, you use the porta potty? I'm like, yeah. And now my wife was like, here, porta potty covers. And I'm like, oh, this is bougie. I'm like, I'm used to just, like I said, in Berg Gap, bro, in Sweden, the craziest experience. I had a shovel, dig a hole, and I was just like, I just let one out. 2 minutes later, we're getting engaged. I'm already covering the hole, and I'm like, yo, this is as real as it gets. Like, you were talking about Milsims. I just finished dropping a turd, and we just got engaged by a technical, and we're hitting him with an AT-4, an anti-tank missile launcher. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. But that's the thing, like, if generally speaking certain things make you uncomfortable, you can't embrace that and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So when I say with all those things that you're questioning, you have to do some self-reflecting on what level of uncomfortness are you willing to reach where it's just not gonna bother you. Like there's guys that, you know, they're constantly going back to their cars. You have Milsim West, you can't go back to your car, you're done. You're DQ'd. That's it. I love that. But I also see it as a hindrance. Not everybody can go to that because in my opinion, 75% of the airsoft population can't go to that.
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah. A lot of people.
That's hard, dude. That's military requirement right there.
When we did radio silence, a lot of people were saying, complaining that the reason why they didn't go was because they want to have they bring their VR, their RV and stuff. Because a lot of them said, look, I can't sleep on the floor or whatever, so it was hindering them, and that's why a lot of people didn't go. Mostly remember the Rebels was majority of our team at the time, 5 boroughs at the time, and then we kind of prepared for it, but everybody else. Other people, I thought a lot of people chose to be on the opposite time, the actual military side, because they had access to the parking lot. They had a better sleeping arrangement than we had.
That affects revenue. That affects business. Where it's like, are you really thinking it through when you're creating such a level of this? Where like, are you really thinking it through, because you're hindering the ability to make profit, the ability to make revenue as an airsoft producer. I went to American Milsim in November. It was a blast. We got crazy outnumbered by Sunday because a lot of the people left. But it's like, guys, it didn't rain. It was one of the first Eastern fronts that didn't rain. This is where I met the group of guys that we do Milsims together, like 5-6 years ago. It was torrential. I was rocking around with a machine gun, a Stoner 93, Stoner 60. I forget the Stoner. I haven't used it in a while.
Somebody said the sound is pretty bad. Probably need to mess with the levels. We can barely hear you.
No, it's not that. It's probably because the mic is kind of far. Hold on, let me bring it a little closer.
Oh yeah, because it's the live.
Yeah, because it's the live. The mic one is better. Let me see.
Check 1 2.
All right, there we go.
How's that?
What
Is
about
that better?
now?
Yeah,
Vaccinator.
that should be better.
How that sound?
Yeah. See, the problem is that the problem was that we're talking. The mic is for the recording. While that, I should have brought I should have had the personal mic. It has something right here.
But that's like airsoft, where you have to. When I used to do a lot of coaching in baseball, I always used to tell parents like, well, how can I get my kid to be a stronger athlete? Experience.
Yeah.
How do I give my kid experience? They have to experience. like you're saying, Sancho, like, oh, how am I gonna get, bro, you just gotta experience. The amount of airsoft Milsims I've been to now, and you saw my truck.
Yeah.
I got that because I want to play airsoft, and I'm a construction guy. Like, I've worked in the trades all for the last. Now I'm 20. I'm 40. I wish I was 20. I'm going to be 42 at the end of the month. I've been working in construction for the last. Since I was 16, bro.
Damn.
And before that, I had uncles and aunts and mom and dad. They were doing construction, and I'm like, so naturally, I got a truck where it opens flaps, this and that. Everyone's like, yo, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I like to get out there. That's the answer to you is, yo, bro, go experience and keep. Like, I have notes on my phone. I don't like this. I like this. I don't like this. I like this. Do you know the kind of preparation you need to do when you have an 8-hour flight to Sweden, and then when you get to Stockholm, you have an 8-hour drive that leaves you at a location that's like 50 miles from the Arctic Circle? If you don't have your nerves about you, you freak out about the smallest fucking thing, because you're like, yo, bro, if I'm not prepared, I'm thousands of miles away from where that item is.
Yeah.
So then you tell yourself, what's an alternative? If this fails, what can I use to work with?
That's what they said. Rule is thumb. Like 1 is none, 2 is 1,
Yes.
3 is
Ounces equals pounds. Pounds equals done. Like if you like, I had socks. I had food. I had made connections where I had a guy from Norway who was a butcher. Shout out to Lima, and he was like, "Hey, Sparticus, I got your meats." Bro brought meat because he's a butcher in Norway, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, here we go." And I'm like, "Yo, yes." He was like, "Here you go, thank you, sir." Bro, guys were looking at me like, "Who the fuck is this American just barbecuing meat in the middle of Sweden?" And I'm like, networking, man. If there's anything an American could do, bro, is we can network. We could talk to people. And he was like, "Here, Sparticus, I got your meats." They're guys who live in the region. They're like, how's this guy eating better than me? Like, yo, bro, experience. The last time, and I have a dehydrator at home, so I have my own dehydrated meals. And people are like, yo, that's smart. I'm like, yeah, but that has only come from a place where I've eaten dehydrated meals. Man, my stomach was like, don't you ever do that again.
Yeah.
I can. So,
Like at the MRE.
Yeah, dude, I know.
when you said that, right?
I know, man.
So I have a bad habit is I overdo it when I get into anything. Like the T-15s, I convinced the crew to get it, and then that's how.
No, he didn't. No, you didn't.
Who?
I convinced you. You went and got something else.
Oh yeah, I got the.
I said, yo,
you're right. Yeah, I got
he
the.
was like, oh, you should get this. I said, no, I'm waiting for the T15. I'm gonna save up. I'm gonna get the T15.
Cause you got it first. You and Patrick got it
then
first.
He was like, yo, you're right. And then he sold what he bought.
Yeah. Oh, because I bought the.
T15.
So Tipman at the time was they dabbled their foot into MagFed, and they had forgot the name of it, but it had MagFed and it had the ability to have the hopper on.
Okay.
So I first got it. I said, cool. And I got the best of both worlds. But the tank was right here. He loved Tiberius, now his first strike, and he was like, you know what? He found out they coming out with a rifle that was a predecessor, I think a predecessor to the, not a predecessor, whatever you call it, to the original model. And the T15, this one's a 1-to-1 replica of a AR. 1-to-1 with the mags, 1-to-1 with the breakdown, 1-to-1 to everything. Like literally, you could take a AR mag, put it in there, and it will lock.
Okay.
And
I love that feeling.
Yeah.
I love that feeling.
So when I found out about that, I sold mine because mine was like, it was like not top heavy. The tank for it was in the stock, so the weight was where it needs to be. We all got real steel. We all have real steel items on our T15s.
Yeah,
we all
sights
had,
and all
yeah,
that.
we had real, like I had a AR sight that was actually on the mag weld that you put your grooves in, and I customized it with gold lettering. We all had real steel Piltic, like real steel Piltic rails, real steel, all the options on it. That's why it was most expensive.
So your rifles, your airsoft, I mean your paintball markers were like $900, and then you added that furniture.
Yeah.
That's like $2,000. That's like
But
$3,000.
the funny thing was, that wasn't us paying. That's just for parts. We did our maintenance.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's insane.
that was just for parts. Like literally,
That's insane.
The last event we did was Black Ops, and that's the one in upstate where we met.
That was a fun event.
Yeah, that was.
That was a fun event.
So we all came to my house. What we used to do, Sancho came out with the ideas, but we had an issue where us three, me, Sancho, his brother Prototype, we ran out of squad. Man, we was trying to figure out a way to get our communication done. So in our masks, because we always used to wear different masks, we found out this motorcycle thing that they sell. So we had the mics in our mask and the wires going underneath our clothes.
Into actual radio?
Yeah, and then into our barrel things.
Okay.
And then we just had a button to press. So now some people got to bring. We was just talking regular. And we went to my crib. That's when we updated yours with the dips. So you had lowered your so you can see underneath the
that's
rise.
another problem we had because of the mask. Trying to look through the scope, the mask is always
Was a low profile.
Yeah.
So I had the thing to make the to bring the tank down. So it's like an L shape, or like an S shape. So bring it down a little bit. So
Even that piece was expensive.
That piece was
you had
expensive
to wait
and
for it. He was he ordered it. And he was the first one to get it, and that little piece was just like.
Meanwhile, there's a company called GBRS who makes a piece where you could put your scope and your D-ball, and it makes it to a certain profile where you can access everything. And you're doing an airsoft.
No, with paintball.
Yeah, man, no.
the paintball was a lot.
Like I have that on my AK where I have my D-ball there, and I have my Leupold, and I can, even with my Airsoft Sparticus mask, I can go right in and track everything. I've got my my light up front, and it's everything. I can, like, people look at it and they're like, oh, this is a legit setup. I'm like, is it comfortable? I'm like, this is ergonomic, man. Paintball. I played it here and there, but the price range for me, I was like, when I was reffing at high velocity like a decade ago, I was looking at what people were paying for paint, and I was like, nah, I'm all right. I'll stick to airsoft.
And the cleanup.
Yeah.
Unlike airsoft, you take your airsoft marker, you can take it apart. You got time. Paintball, you have to do it right after. If
So
not,
I hear,
it becomes a pain in the ass, and literally
get gunked up.
Yeah, literally. The only good thing is that we was able to break it down. Now, what made the T15 unique is you can change the upper and then switch it to an airsoft upper, and then you have a pretty much a I forgot what they call it. What do you call it? The airsoft markers that are air driven, not AEG. Gas blowback.
Okay.
Yeah, you have it, but it's not like you don't have the blowback action, but it'll have you'll have the pretty much a gas blowback rifle. The T15 was definitely versatile. It was just you still got yours, right?
Yeah, I still got mine.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I sold mine.
I kept it like, all right, one day I'm not going back to. I'm not going back to paintball. I'm sorry. It's just too much. It doesn't. At the end of the day, it just.
Yeah.
I have stuff in airsoft. Like at home, I have a what's it called? Not artillery. Mortar. I have a mortar at home. It's called a Hades mortar, where you fill the mortar itself with water, and then the bottom part gets filled with gas. And then there's a part that has to get replaced, which is a gasket that has a silicone membrane. And then underneath, it's got 3 knives, like X-Acto knives, so that when the water mixes with the gas and it gets punctured by the X-Acto knife, the mortar goes out. And when it goes out, it has these 3 blades that open. You see it, and you just see it go in the end. It goes like 200 feet.
Damn.
And but the thing is, when it hits, it sprays water everywhere. Yeah, I'm like, man, I love airsoft. I'm never gonna. I haven't played Call of Duty in like the last Call of Duty I played was when they finally redid the character of Captain Price, and they had the younger version guy, and I was like, that's the last Call of Duty I played, because I have been, like
That's
I said,
the 2019 one, right?
that's the last time I played
It
any
got trashed
video
after
game.
that.
Yeah,
It
it got
got trashed
trashed
after
after
that.
That's when the MVGs I made. That's where it's from.
Bro, talk about NVGs. I have played airsoft with NVGs at like 10K. And shout out to Eric Scorpio, because he set up this whole NVG rental process with this company. And I'm trying to remember, I don't remember what event we did. Oh, okay. So we did Zulu 24, the Benghazi event, where they had it, and it was a classified site. We couldn't record. Everybody puts their NVGs